So this right here, this brilliant-looking gentleman right here, is a UFC fighter that just won a contract from the UFC. The name of this article is Unfit for Paramount. Dana White rewards Contender Series clown with racist reel, a UFC contract. Now, I want to point something out here. This isn't an article by some kind of left-wing liberal think tank. This isn't CNN. This isn't MSNBC. It's not even CNBC. This is SB Nation, a sports article. And it goes on to say here, if you thought Josh Hokett's post-fight interview on Dana White's Contender Series was eyebrow-raising, wait until you've seen the kind of stuff he's been posting on social media. This week, every winner on Contender Series was giving a UFC's contract, and I can't talk today, it's been a long day, including heavyweight Hokett for his ground and pound TKO of Guillermo Uriel. Oh, I can't say that. UFC CEO Dana White praised the former college wrestling national champion and NFL practice squad player for breaking his opponent in the first round and finishing him in the second. Not mentioned was what he said afterwards. So this is, first of all, we're going to watch this real quick. This is a video of his interview afterwards. And I want you guys to understand something. This is where I grew up watching UFC, right? I sparred when I was a kid. I grew up in a place where you need to know how to defend yourself. I sparred a lot. And the guy that I sparred with one day brought in the UFC #1 tape, the VHS tape, right? You got to watch this, man. This is crazy. This jiu-jitsu guy, man, he fights a dude with one boxing glove on. It's insane. This little karate dude fights a sumo wrestler. It's crazy. You got to watch this. So I've been watching the UFC since the first UFC. That's how old I am. And back in those days, there's definitely a gimmick to it. But the gimmick was jiu-jitsu can beat any martial art on earth. Any martial art. And back then, that was something. And it meant something. And it was interesting. And it was entertaining. And back then, there was no rules, by the way. I think you couldn't pull hair and you couldn't fish hook people or eye gouge people. I think those are the only rules. I think you're actually allowed to hit each other in the groin at the very beginning. And people have been so desensitized to the UFC now that it's taking on WWE-style elements. And this is what this guy has chosen to do. But the crazy thing about this is this guy didn't say, I'm going to create, a Ultimate Warrior character. I'm not going to create a, Undertaker character. What he said was, I'm going to create a racist American character. Why? Because that's what's popular.
His partner, Dana White, have decided to get rid of this unentertaining heavyweight division. And instead, we're going to create the Incredible Hulk division. But my opponents won't be these lazy, boring heavyweights. My opponents will be sex traffickers, pedophiles, rapists. Hell, you can even throw the transgenders in there. Line them all up. And one by one, I give them a good old American beatdown inside the octagon to show the world that there's consequences for these types of behaviors in America.
There you heard it. That is where our country is. When I was a kid, characters like The Undertaker, characters like The Ultimate Warrior, The Rockers, Demolition, The Legion of Doom, that was considered edgy. That was considered crazy. The UFC now has a fighter that has created a persona that says, bring on the transgenders. And it's not over yet. It's not over yet. He goes on. He's got his little character he plays here, where he says, I left the liberal snowflake NFL to do a real man's sport in a real man's promotion. And here I am doing just that by earning this UFC contract. I've been chewed up and spit out, and I continue to find a way, and I will find a way to that UFC gold. A lot of those guys in the heavyweight division are just fat and overweight. Their fights are boring. They don't even speak English. I feel like that should be a criteria. You speak English, then you can be in the UFC. That's just how I would run it. So, this is what's popular. This is what gets the young dudes that watch UFC going. Fight. Let's put the transgenders in the ring and we're going to give them, a good old American beatdown. What does that sound like? It sounds like an America that fucking was around almost 100 years ago. We're literally going backwards. You can't fight in the UFC unless you speak English. This is what this administration has brought about. This is where we're at. Now, to anybody that's followed it, now I'm not going to play the end of this video, but we're going to play the beginning of it, and I'm going to let you go ahead and guess what the last word this gentleman says in this is.
You're a big brawler. You fight like a beginner. If you came to America back in the day, they'd probably call you a...
What do you think that final word was? Not going to play it, because if this is my channel, we play it. But I'm going to be respectful. I don't want anything to happen to this channel. What do you think that last word was going to be? I got a book behind me. Let me see if I can get this. Let's go over here real quick. This is the book. Everybody should read this book. Everybody should read this book. Because this isn't a book about 1920. This isn't a book about the 50s. This is a book about Barack Obama's first term in office and how it encouraged growth in the KKK. It's Joe Moore's book. Joe Moore was an undercover citizen who went undercover in the KKK and was asked to assassinate Barack Obama. And he stopped it from happening. And during his time in the KKK, he saw them grow and become stronger based off of the hate this country had for seeing a president that was black. And that same hate, by the way, because Joe Moore went back for a second time into the Ku Klux Klan during Donald Trump's administration. And during that time, their numbers exploded. And when he got out of the Ku Klux Klan and he put these people on trial, the FBI put them on trial, and he bore witness and helped put them behind bars, you know where those people went? They went to the 3%ers. They went to the Proud Boys. They went to the Oath Keepers. They went to the places that they felt the most comfortable because the KKK was being raided by the FBI. All those people on January 6th, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, when people say, oh, they're just patriots, they're proud of the country. Literally, the people in the KKK went there. Went to those places because that's where they felt safe. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out that video on the screen now.